Take a couple seconds here. Come on. Really? There it is. I need link. Please. Why are you not working? Generate me link, please. Is it just straight not working? Okay. Interesting. There it goes. Just frozen? Oh, my internet's poop. This might not be working, but we'll see. We shall see. Do. Over here. This one. This one. Need moderation. You can fuck right off. This. What's going on here? I don't know what the fuck that means. Oh, close the wrong thing. Eventually I'll get used to doing what I'm doing. It should be fine. Yeah. Okay, that should be fine. And then, yeah. There we go. Took me a little bit to get everything situated, but we're situated now. Allegedly. I don't know what the fuck that means, though. Someone said the one putting the power down. I don't understand. Just really don't. Is it over here? Oh, sorry, I was looking up means. Means. I'm putting the power down. Oh. It was fucking me being stupid on a random poll about poker. With this. Do. Okay. Oh, that was a failure. Just chimps right now. Chimps. Oh, I fucked up. That's alright. Let's do this. I don't like this at all. What's this? Oh, nothing. Uh. Oh, that's dead. Trying to smoke a fucking dead vape. That's not gonna do much for me. Not much at all. Oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot to change my tags. Twitch tags are very important apparently, so I gotta make sure I do that. I don't have to worry about shit for a little bit. I gotta pop over here, handle this stuff real quick. Edit. Tags. Would help if it could spell. This should do fine. Yeah, it should be alright. Ooh, I look like a scary person when I have my head down like that. I don't like that. Here and here. And here. And here. Alright, that should be fine. Yeah. I'm more than okay with that. Let's go over here. Oh, and I lost this. Oops. Alright. Makes sense. I'm gonna put like here. How you doing? A quad? A kudo? It's going pretty good for me. I got like sort of kind of sleep, I guess you could call it. Um, so I'm feeling pretty okay. I'm in a pretty good mood, I think. I had like every opportunity to be pissed off today, and I just didn't. So that's pretty good. I take that as a big win. You know, how are you doing? And it's nice to meet you. I don't know if I remember you coming through chat before or not. Memory is difficult for me sometimes. Oh my god, I keep trying to hit a fucking dead vape, dude. Shit's wild. The reasonable adult thing to do would be to plug it into my charger. But I don't do reasonable adulting all that well sometimes. Sucks, because then I do the alternative, which is to smoke a cigarette, but it is what it is. Oh, fair enough. That's no worries. Thanks for letting me know. There's no like pressure to talk or anything. Yeah. It's all good. So I appreciate you being here and lurking for me. I don't get many views on YouTube. Well, to be fair, I mean, well, comparatively, I get a lot of views on Twitch, but it still ain't a lot. That would be probably Bloons. BTD6 would be my guess on. I don't know how long ago it was, but the only game I've streamed really in like the last couple months has been Bloons Tower Defense. It's actually, I'm playing it right now in the background. It's nice and calming. I'm playing it with the sound off, so you can't hear it, but it's like just sounds of balloons popping and shit. Like it's soothing to me. It's like an ASMR almost. I've been trying to come up with ideas on like videos and stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I remember playing it on totallyaddictinggames.com when it was a Flash game, like the first and second one. You know what I mean? And like the sixth one, pretty legit. I like it. I enjoy it. There's like a little bit of that nostalgia feel. Rum 2, yeah. Is your favorite game growing up? I liked I was on a really off the collar site, Mo Fun Zone, I think is what it was called. And it was like a version of chess. Think like the Wizard's Chest from Harry Potter. It was kind of like that. I used to play that in typing class because they didn't have restrictions for it on the computers yet. I did a lot of screwing around in high school mostly. Yeah, kind of all school. I can't really say it was one or the other. Like, I definitely screwed around all of school. Elementary school, junior high, high school. Dicked off in college. That didn't work out, and then I ended up going back at, like, I think it was 22 or 23. I ended up going back to school. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is there. How you doing, Demon? How's your day going, brother? It's good to see you. Good, I'm glad to hear it. What's my favorite food? Man, that changes so frequently. Say probably currently. Currently, I'm gonna go with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, definitely a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. How about you? What's your favorite food? You like pizza? Yeah, pizza's pretty good. It's all like common foods, you know. The standards. Yo, cold pizza is better than warm pizza. For sure. Yeah. What else is new? It's been happening. My favorite game, Dota 2. Like for sure, Dota 2. It's free. It's one of the hardest MOBAs. It's like a much more complicated League of Legends. Like much more complicated. How you doing? It's alls. Eat, drink, show yourself some love, and if not, that's okay too. I love you. I'm proud of you, and you're amazing. Thank you. That's fucking awesome. I appreciate you. See, that's good shit. I come across when I'm tagged out like mental health stuff. I get people like you coming through, and it's really fucking cool. That just drop some love. Like a drive-by love bombing. I love it. I've played Bloons Tower Defense 3. I'm going to be 32. I played Bloons Tower Defense 1 when it was just balloons. I've played 1, 2, 3. You can't even get 1 anymore. That shit's gone. It's not supported anymore. Unless you have they made it a reboot that was a disc. You can get the disc of 1. Been playing video games longer than you've been alive, my friend. Will I ever stream that game? No. Oh well. My day's pretty good. It was all right. Are you talking about battles, Demon? It's been pretty good. I get off of work at 7:30, and I didn't sleep all that great. But other than that, I'm actually in like a alarmingly good mood. It's weird. I'm in like one of those moods where it's like this mood doesn't fit, but I'm good. How are you doing? I'm just kind of sitting here. I have a little I have a budding mental health community on Discord, and I stream and we talk, and I'm streaming a little earlier than I have been. I either stream super early in the morning or like way late at night. But we have a couple people and we do like gratitude lists and just kind of support each other. So it's been fun getting that going. Yeah, I've played Bloons TD. I played it upon release and it wasn't a very good game yet, so I kind of didn't like it. I know they fixed a lot of the issues it was having, but I just haven't gone back to it. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Work's going really good. I'm stepping up into a promotion shortly, so that feels nice. My personal relationships, I think, are going pretty well. Like, yeah, everything's pretty good. Yeah, everything's pretty good. Yeah, no worries. So is that what you're kind of doing? You're just kind of popping into random streams and throwing some good vibes at them? Yes, Demon, I smoked the entire 4.5 hour stream that you watched of me playing Bloons 2 weeks ago. I was smoking the entire time. Oh, sorry if you're getting confused. It's I'm multi-streaming, so Demon is over on the YouTube side. You weren't watching that stream? You were here. It was the stream when you were asking me to come play with you, and then told me you were flagged as a cheater. I was smoking a cigarette when we were having that conversation. Yep. The world does need kindness. I agree with you. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about you spreading positivity to people. It does get a little lonely. I know it's like I miss it and I don't miss it, but I used to I was almost partnered. I was like at like 73 concurrent viewers. Like I was super close to being partnered last go around of streaming, but my mental health took a pretty severe nosedive and I gave it up. The correlation is when you're doing something positive for somebody else, it gets you out of your own head. So you stop paying attention to your own problems. That's why like a lot of therapists, if you're really, really struggling, will be like, have you thought about volunteering? Like it does a lot for your mental health to just go try to help somebody else. That's a lot of what happens in like the Discord. You'll be like struggling with something and be like, hey, I need someone to talk to. And you'll end up, they're not talking to you about your problems. They talk to you about their problems. And then like, you're trying to help them. And next thing you know, you're in a better mood. It's really cool. It's one of the main pillars. I'm part of a 12-step program and for addiction and substance abuse. And that's one of the big pillars of it is to go be of service to people. Best way to get out of your own way is to go, try to tackle some shit. So it's good. It's a fucking that's if this is what it looks like when you're having a hard time, like or not feeling great, you're fucking doing good. I've already had lung cancer, Demon. And it's not a choice. Nobody goes to the store and like give me some lung cancer. I'm not gonna entertain the cigarette conversation at all. So I would stop. And I'm lovingly throwing up a boundary to you. What you want to do next is up to you. What are you having a hard time with? Alls.
They do. I mean, I used to fucking shoot heroin into my neck. I'm not worried about cigarettes at all. It's shit mentality, and I do hope one day to quit, but I'm not gonna stress myself up over it.
Like, there's worse things.
And like it's funny too, because like there's a bunch of people that like I know there's a ton of people in my everyday walking life that like poo poo me for smoking cigarettes, and they're like cheating on their significant others, and they can't hold the job for longer than a day. Like it's like if your shit's completely in order, then go give unsolicited advice. Like, you know what I mean? The whole let he who is without sin cast the first stone, like that should actually mean something. And it doesn't really seem to. But yeah, I start every morning with a cup of coffee and what do you call it? Cigarette. I've been doing it for years. I don't know how to do this. Oh, it's probably the commander's got to do it. So this. Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at. Also, it's like if you can legitimately be like, if you're like, for the most part, nobody's perfect, but if you're really close, then you can start throwing judgment. But you're still, I think the judgment is still you're just being a shitty person. I don't think there's any good positive merit to judging somebody for anything. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, no worries, man. My favorite color is purple. Yours is yellow? Fair enough. Yellow ain't a bad color. Hmm. Demon, I have one more map on the beginner to black border. And it's fucking logs. Easy map. Oh, Butterfinger. Butterfinger's the best candy that there's ever been, hands down. It's a bold statement, I know, but it's accurate.
Oh, someone got triggered because I titled my video "Attitudes of Choice." Yikes! Weird thing to get upset about. Why am I sleeping? I'm not sleeping. What? I'm so confused. Why did you just ask me why am I sleeping? I'm very confused. What's going on, Mr. Pube? I've been pretty good. Been in a pretty solid, positive mood. So I just gotta, just kind of keeping that rolling. But yeah, I'm good. How you, man? How you been, man? Been good. Gonna be getting promoted at work. So that's a huge that's a fucking big positive. Oh, it looks like I'm sleeping. No, I'm definitely not sleeping. I don't know why. Cause what? I'm so demon. I don't know if you're like trolling me or you're like I don't understand. It is what it is kind of moods. My wife pointed out that and I don't know why you keep deleting your messages. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But melancholy. She says I get melancholy. And I didn't like in full fairness know what that word actually meant. And I googled it and that's what it very much is. You're just kind of like indifferent to things. You're like, man. So good. I get like that pretty often. I prefer that over like fear depression or something. You know what I mean? My favorite animal would be a dog. I'm big into dogs. Yours is a tiger. Fair enough. Cool, cool. No, caring about someone's not weird. Weird. I don't go anywhere. I mean, I think it's common and also at the same time strange to have multiple ways of getting a hold of somebody and just sit there wondering if they're alive. Especially because I'm active on social media and in the Discord every single day. So like, there's that. But that's a common thing. Like, I know a lot of people they get kind of like mad, like if they don't hear from somebody, be like, oh, they're pissed at me or whatever because they're not reaching out and talking to me. I do that a lot. Be like, well, it is what it is. We don't talk, whatever. And then like something will flip, and I'll be like, well, I don't reach out and talk to them either. So contact is a two-way street. I think that's a misconception of my personality and the community. A lot of people kind of you wonder if I'm dead or alive. Yeah, no. I mean, I struggle with depression. You've heard some of my stories, so like, of what my life is. So I guess it's not a weird thought to have if like someone with, severe bipolar and PTSD and clinical depression is doing okay. You've crossed my mind. It's the same thing as like knowing someone's actively a drug addict, being like, oh, I hope they're still alive. You know what I mean? So I think that's a pretty common thing. There's also a lot of people that like know my like living situation and I'm kind of homeless. So like people assume that you can't survive homelessness and it's difficult and it's not. TPD. What's that? TPD. It's a personality disorder. What the fuck's PPD? Why am I not coming up with the other P? Paranoid personality disorder. Okay. Yeah, the drug-induced stuff will definitely do that to you.
Cocaine's one hell of a drug. Welcome back, dude. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just struggling a bit more recently with your depression. It's funny. We were just like, you came back at like the perfect time. We were just talking about depression being a thing. Like, it's common to struggle with. You know, I don't have any like answers for it, I guess you could say, because I struggle with it too from time to time. It just kind of flares up. But if you ever need company and stuff, you're more than welcome to, join the Discord and be part of the little community there. There's a lot of people. If you're just like, want some company or to play a game with somebody, there's a ton of people in the Discord, myself included. I'm usually pretty available to talk. Oh, I don't know who that was. Oh, Al, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. You gave up therapy and made more friends. Yeah, that's coincidental. They don't correlate. You weren't spending 100% of your time in therapy. So what does correlate is if therapy helped you quit doing drugs and then you stopped doing drugs and were able to interact with people. That correlates. Yeah, absolutely. You want what might be a good thing to give you is probably the Discord link. If like it's kind of weird to. All right, edit link. No limit, expires after never. Create new link. I was supposed to fix all this shit. All right, that's a forever link. I was already supposed to have fixed all of this stuff. So this is the Discord. The next day it was the same old. Yeah, therapy's a long process. So I will say this, just broad strokes, generic, not hyper specific to you. If you're looking for something to fix all your problems immediately forever, you're going to be struggling all of your life. I get stuck with that too, where I'm like, that's personal to me. I'll be like, I'll get to a place where I'm okay with therapy, and then it'll be like, I'm all better, bye. And I get fucking worse immediately. It's like immediately. So that's just a broad statement. Like, it takes time for stuff to take effect. Like, therapy is not a quick fix-all. It is a kind of relentless-ish thing. If that makes any sense. I think it worded right. But I do that a lot where I'm like trying to find a fix-all type of thing. Or like, I think I did it for enough time. I have a predisposition to not follow through very well. That's not mania, because if you have the if your only diagnosis is PPD, you don't have mania. You're not bipolar. A doctor would have told you that you were bipolar. You would have been hospitalized if you have bipolar 1, so you can't be manic if you're not bipolar 1. And then that's just justification every drug addict and alcoholic on the history of forever has used. Because there's tons of people who went through worse shit than you that don't do drugs or drink. So yes, it is a way to cope. You are correct. But trying to spin it to it's a healthy way to cope because I'm coping it doesn't work. And I won't conflate it. Is what it is. That's like shit from the 40s. That you got ghosts in your bloods, do cocaine. And it's outdated and irrelevant. It's very healthy to accept if you're a drug addict. To be like, oh, I'm a drug addict. I tell myself that shit all the time. It is very unnatural for me to not have drugs or alcohol in my system because I'm a drug addict. You know what I mean? Calculated, and it could be possible for me. Could be possible, it's not a diagnosis. That sounds like a self-diagnosis. You could. Everybody could have it. I would say if you've been hospitalized for mania or hospitalized for an unalivement attempt, the likelihood is much higher because that's what it comes with. Especially bipolar 1. That's my big push. If you're bipolar 1, you get diagnosed the first time you're hospitalized. It's not like some people don't get hospitalized when they have it, some people do okay. No. You have like full-on psychotic breaks. It's violent. It's a very violent mental health condition that people just self-diagnose. I'd put PTSD and autism there as well. I'm a firm believer. It doesn't hurt to go talk to somebody and get a diagnosis. You know what I mean? So, you're not flagged anymore? Hell yeah. That's cool. Your buddy's getting his account suspended. I was able to go back in my VOD and screenshot his alt's username. So there's that. That's fun stuff. You know what I mean? Make you all warm and fuzzy. Oh, welcome, Alls. I see that you joined. Yeah, it's not like, super popping off right now. A lot of the base is later on in the evening. You fucked up your assessment results. That said that to me, not my doctor. Gotcha. Yeah, those assessments are super fucking important. I lied. I tried to lie. So it's funny, like, I got diagnosed the first time when I was 8. Was the first time I ended up in the psych ward. I was 8. And I lied. I lied the whole time, naturally. I lied up until I was fucking like 23, 24 years old. Like, good chunks of my life. And everybody's like, oh yeah, you're bipolar. And I'd be like, no. Like, it's not this, it's this. And then, like, I was finally honest, and, like, the first doctor I was honest to was like, yeah, you already have a bipolar diagnosis. Like, you're fucked. Yes, I've been to a psychiatrist assessment. In 2013, when I got sober, I had to do one as part of my intake for the residential I lived in. And they straight up thought I was schizophrenic. They thought I was schizo-defective disorder. And it just turns out I had real bad PTSD and bipolar 1. So they got me on a medication, and then I did, what do you call it? It's cognitive therapy. CTR? CTA? I forgot which one it is. It's a cognitive therapy. And I had to see a psychotherapist twice a week for... it was about 2 years before I was kind of stable enough to do anything. It's caught in the crossfire. Alls. This is the problem of how people are approaching mental health awareness and tolerance. Is too many people are self-diagnosing each other, and people with actual issues are getting caught in the crossfire. Like, a psychologist has usually now huge wait lists, a year and a half, because they have fucking thousands of people that, for whatever reason, need the PTSD diagnosis or the autism diagnosis. Like, it ends up being people who don't have anything wrong with them, other than a need for an excuse or need for attention. And then when people actually have a mental illness and they go to the doctor, they're caught in the crossfire because the system's too overloaded. And that's becoming global. That's why I'm all for TikTok being banned in the US. I'm all for it. It's gotta go. I think they should be hitting all social media. Like, it'd suck, but I'd be all for them completely getting rid of YouTube, fucking all of it. Turning all the live streaming off. Like, the biggest mental health issue in America right now is people wanting to have mental health issues. It's fucking really bizarre. I don't understand it. So I'm sorry that's happening to you. I had another girl who came in and she was talking to me, and it's like, oh no, it kind of sounds like you have PTSD. And like her therapist was like, that's just a victim mentality. And like, because everybody needs to have, they need something special. My argument, it's all about the participation trophies that started being a thing in the early 2000s. I think that led to people needing a mental illness diagnosis as like something to wear. I don't understand it. It's real fucking bad. And like my job, I'm a case manager for fucking people with schizophrenia and shit. Like, I've been so delirious and whacked out of my mind, I didn't realize anything around me for like 2 years. I was in like a psychotic delusion. Like, I know what mental illness is. Certainly what mine is, and I see it every fucking day at work. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. People are like, they're wanting to say like, a lot of it too is like, I have PTSD. I'm even starting to see it with cops when they're trying to arrest somebody that's committed a crime. They're like, you can't do this. I have PTSD. You're triggering me. If like, I know for a fact if I was a cop, I'd be taunting people left and right and tasing them. I wouldn't even be hearing it. And it's just an excuse. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. Getting so caught up in my own shit that I'm like fucking screaming like, it's not my fault, I'm bipolar. Like, losing my fucking mind. And it's not excusable. And then it's like, you know, I have people come through and they're listing off all the shit they have, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm not diagnosed. It's like, then you don't have it. There has to be some type of rule. And like, the big one is, if you have some type of issue, why aren't you treating it? And like, I've had people make the argument like, well, just, you know, it's not an issue, it's not a problem. It's like, people wanting to kill themselves in record high numbers is a fucking huge problem. Like, you don't want me to, I've never judged anybody for a mental health issue. Ever. Like, I have a deep understanding of what it's like to have mental health problems. But then I have got people telling me that I'm being judgmental because I'm acknowledging that bipolar is a problem, PTSD is a problem, body dysmorphia. So like anorexic, bulimia. People forget that there's original body dysmorphias. Most power lifters at the gym have a form of body dysmorphia because they look in the mirror and see someone way smaller and they keep going. That shit's been around forever. That's a mental health issue. So, like, I don't understand why acknowledging something's should be worked on and fixed and treated. My whole big thing is, like, if you're struggling with something, why aren't you fixing it? Like, why? And, like, that's frowned upon and talked down to. And like you said, like, if I could give anything I own or my future earnings, whatever, I would choose to get rid of the bipolar and PTSD. I'd be like, take it from me. You know what I mean? Oh, fair enough, Demon. So are you not flagged, or did you start a new account? Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong. I have to start being better about asking people, like, are you looking for a solution, or are you just trying to let it out? Yeah, so yeah. So you're not unbanned. You broke another terms of service and made another account. But I got to be better about that because I'm very quick to start giving advice. And like, I'm trying to back up and be like, are you asking for advice? Because I am kind of more or less solution oriented when it comes to things. So if someone comes to me with a problem, I'm like, you could try doing this. And like, sometimes people just need to bitch. I need to bitch. I bitch constantly. So I'm trying to be better about that myself. So I think it's important that like, a lot of the times people just need to be heard. Like, that's a lot of what's going on. People want to be unique in, it might not even be uniqueness. I know there's a lot of arguments for being validated, but like, there's a lot of people that want society overall to validate them. And like, all you do is have to validate yourself. You get to a place where you yourself make you yourself feel validated, and other people's opinions will stop fucking mattering. Like, I don't really give a shit about most people's opinions. There's probably like 6 people on this planet who I care about their opinions. Like, so like some stranger on the street, fucking, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something that bothers me. There's a vacuum chamber a little bit in the Twitch community. It's called virtue signaling. There's a lot of people saying they're a mental health stream, but if you talk about wanting to unalive yourself, they tell you they either ban you or mute you and tell you we got to keep a positive atmosphere. Like in my experience, mental health does not look pretty. It looks grueling and painful, and it's people like we had issues with the Discord of like people just being mean to people. And I was like, are you expecting people in a mental health community to be kind and friendly all the time? I don't know what your mental health looks like, but when mine's on the decline, I'm a little asshole to everybody. You know what I mean? I get mad. CBT, thank you. That was the what I was trying to talk about. I think I said T. I might have also said CBR, but it's not. That's a different one. Fair enough. So you're at like the hurry up and wait stage of it. That can be frustrating. But I mean, that's. Do they think you have something else going on, Alls? Because that seems awfully clinical for just ADHD. Do they think there's something else? They think you're like effective or something like that? Because that's a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of treatment for ADHD. Most people just take an Adderall every morning and they're fine. So do they think you have something else going on, maybe? Quitting therapy, I think, is a huge mistake. But it's not like that's the thing. Everybody's allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. You know? Mistake or no mistake, you have free will and free choice. Fair enough, Demon. So I tell everybody, it's like when the only issue I ever have is where people are actually asking me for advice because they're struggling, and it's over and over and over and relentless, and they're not doing anything. Like I'm big into like if you want your life to change, there has to be an action. You can't just sit around and wait for it to change. That's the whole thing of like people wanting to be like, you know, society needs to love and tolerate and respect us. It's like if you're waiting for all of society to validate you, you're going to die miserable. You're going to be miserable your whole life. All of society will never like you. That's just cold hard facts. You got to like yourself, and I think CBT helps you like yourself. Is what it is. Yeah, people feel lost. It's normal to feel lost. It's damn near human nature to feel lost. Like that's to me, that's like a non-issue. Like you know, you feel lost and you buckle up, and hopefully you don't feel lost soon. You know what I mean? I think it'd be weird if you didn't in this world if you didn't feel lost. There's so much shit you're getting bombarded by shit left and right. It'd be kind of a little strange if you didn't feel lost. Yeah, so drug addiction and alcoholism is a symptom of an underlying issue. That's you like you said, you found a medicine to treat whatever the problem was. The issue is over time the medicine starts becoming more harmful than helpful, and all your problems are still chilling there. You know what I mean? Like that's my big thing with it. Yeah, it'll be great as a band-aid. There's a lot of people that can just they have a hard week, they go to a bar, have a couple shots and a beer, and then they go home. Me, I don't stop. That's literally what it is. The effect alcohol allots me is fucking strong. Same with drugs. Like I know for a fact if I got a fifth of Jack Daniels and I slam that fucker within 3 hours, like I would feel right. You know what I mean? Like, and I would fucking destroy my life. It's the consequence of that. I would completely shred and turn my life upside down. And that's the difference. And there's a lot of people like that. Like America is fucking huge.
There's 330 million people here, and almost a quarter of the population is struggling with some form of substance abuse. So, I'm sorry you're struggling, but like, good on you for continuing to follow through. I'm sorry it's been a kind of a what it sounds like a miserable experience with healthcare, but at least you're like on top of it and staying at it. You know what I mean? That's very important that you're just trying to stick with it. It's huge. Yeah, that was my thing. Pubes was just it was self-treatment. Yeah, it's fucking drugs and alcohol numb the shit out of you. Oh, what's going on, Esperanto? How you doing? How's your day going, man? I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I need to eat at some point. That's for sure. That's for sure, for sure. But how you doing today? Thank you, Pube. I try my best to be less shitty than I was yesterday. Baby steps. I was a fucking straight animal for a good chunk of my life. It's all baby steps. Yeah, that's interesting. So, what do you mean by flashbacks? So, I run into that a lot of the times where people think it's kind of like the thought process of if I'm thinking about it often, therefore it's a flashback. So, like, what would you say your flashbacks kind of look like? You don't have to tell me what they are, but like, what do they look like, type of thing. It could be both, Pubes. I'm doing pretty good at Esperanto. Just kind of hanging out. Hard time sleeping today. Very hard time sleeping today. It's actually funny. I made a little like YouTube short on it. There's a guy, elderly man, next door. He's retired. He's like 71 or 70 or something like that. He's a little long in the tooth, but he's fucking been out there all day, fucking splitting these huge rounds of wood for firewood and shit. And like I was laying in bed at one point, I'm like, man, this guy's fucking pissing me off. I get to a point where like I get so worked up over shit like that I'm like, I'm gonna go say something. And like, then like something in my head switched, and I was like, man, I wish I was fucking out there swinging a sledgehammer at 70. You know what I mean? I have no idea, Demon. I have no idea. I've been very much enjoying sitting here talking to people. So I haven't been streaming games. Yeah, exactly. Alls. Like, it's okay to need help. It's not a. I don't think it's a big deal. Everybody needs help at some point or another. And like, you hear a lot of people like, you know, pull yourself up from your bootstraps thing. That's fitting. That is actually a helpful situational temperament. But a lot of it'll be someone who's like independently successful, maybe not necessarily wealthy, but like they have their own video. Then go watch other people, dude. If you're only here to watch balloons, I'm not playing balloons. If you leave, it's fine. Like I'm sitting here talking and having conversation. That's what I like to do, so that's what I do on my stream. Thank you. Like those people that are successful, they have their own companies, their own businesses. They had some type of luck lottery. They did hit some type of lottery in life. Yeah, they could very well be a hard worker, but they had some like knowledge of money management. They had a decent personality, good upbringing. They got lucky because, you know, people wanted their service or needed their service in their area. They were lucky that, you know, this client decided to help refer him to 30 people to fucking do construction. Like, there's always some level of luck. And like I like to tell people, I got brought up in a violently abusive, alcoholic, drug infested home. In pretty much, born with mental illness. I did not win any fucking lotteries when it came to how I was there. But at a certain point, you got to be like, I'm not in my childhood anymore. Yada yada yada. You know what I mean? I'm gonna mute you guys real quick because my lady's calling me, and I just want to make sure she's okay. Alrighty, I am back. It's funny that you just gave them that advice, Pubes, when it applies to therapy as well. Also, maybe I'm taking this wrong, but okay, I'll just watch somebody else, go fuck yourself. Like, that's kind of like low-key a shitty thing to say to somebody. So, respectfully, go eat a bag of dicks. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's weird to be like, it's like trying to strong arm a streamer. It's fucking bizarre, dude. Like, I don't care about the views. If I cared about the views, I'd stream longer than 3 or 4 hours at a time. In different content, I'm literally like homeless, sitting in a garage, just trying to be here to talk to people if they need to talk. I'm not trying to entertain and put on a show. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, my lady's not doing very well. She has really bad migraines. And like I kind of figured she was going to have one today because she was like doing yard work and stuff yesterday. Just trying to get, kind of do her part around the house and stuff. And like, so she's just having a little bit of a hard time. So I want to make sure I answered. What's going on, Big Gringus? How you doing today? Yeah, it's not weird for me to get like a little like agitated over that, right? You know what I mean? I'll just watch somebody else. Like, okay, fuck off. Like, neat. Dude, I do the same thing, Pubes. Like, a lot of people think I give really, really solid, good advice. Which, like, I would agree. I think I give some pretty solid advice. If you say the exact same thing back to me, I'm like, no, that's not for me. It's fucking really, it's weird. Like, you kind of gotta also think it's a little funny. But, like, I do it all the time. Or, like, someone will give me advice, and it, like, logically it's good advice. And I'm just like, no. No, thank you. Yeah, I would call that Karen behavior for sure. I shouldn't react to it like that, though, because then it just makes me look like a dickhead. Not good for the image. You know, because I'm a big famous streamer. I'll tell anybody though, there's a lot of people who watch me stream because I'm a small streamer that also kind of sort of stream. If you're doing stuff to pander to one person that is not yourself, you're not going to be successful at it. You're going to hate streaming. I do this because I enjoy it. I don't have to focus on a game. People don't. A lot of the thing too, like when I stream games, it's the same conversations. I'm more than willing to have the same exact conversations. I don't really focus too much on a game. But a lot of people end up feeling like they are interrupting me doing something. That's why I don't show games on stream. Because people end up feeling like they're going to interrupt. And then obviously you have people like at Switch. You know what I mean? Like you come back, you're here, and if you're streaming a game and it's all tagged out for the game, you get a bunch of people that are just really into the game. You know? But yeah, that was some serious Karen energy right there for sure. No, you're fine. Also, I don't remember. I went on a rant because somebody was like, when are you streaming Bloons? Because they met me streaming Bloons, and I was like, you know, I'm probably not going to. And then they hit me with the whole, okay, I'll just watch somebody else. So like that kind of, there's a little delay. I didn't realize it irked me as hard as it did. That's true, Gringus. I don't think I handled it super poorly. I wasn't like, I didn't get fucking super nasty, and I did say respectfully and politely, go eat a bag of dicks. So, like, I added the respect part, you know what I mean? It counts for something, right? And that's a big thing for a lot of people. It's, for myself included, you know what my face looks like? You know, most of you guys know I'm in California. Al's doesn't, but he does now. So, like, it's super impersonal to me. I can talk to you guys about anything. I don't have to worry about bumping into you at the grocery store, you know what I mean? It's nice. But yeah, I try to analyze my behavior. Usually once a day, I'm like picking myself apart. That's why I started adopting the self-gaslighting. Because if I have an actual problem, I'll just tell myself I don't. Yeah, psychedelic. It happens. Like I tell people I have a mental health community and I have fucking mental health problems. So like be prepared for that. But it did. I was like, I muted the stream because my girlfriend was calling me, and I know she's struggling and having a headache, so I just wanted to see how she was doing and talk to her real quick. And I was like on the phone with her, and I'm like looking at it and rereading it. I'm like, this motherfucker, dude, it did it. Like fucking, I read it. I was like, okay, watch another stream. Like I fucking did. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? I was like, this piece of shit. I don't think he's a piece of shit. It was just like, it's weird, like, even if he was the only one here, I wouldn't have deviated. Like, I've met a lot of fucking really cool people just sitting in front of a camera talking. So, like, I like doing it. And I think that's what it is. Like, I really like just sitting here talking to strangers about random shit. So, like, it's something I enjoy. It's really my only hobby is to just sit here and talk to people. And, like, it's a lot centered about mental health, but we joke around a lot shit, too. So, it was like, I took it a little too personal, probably. A question and a reply. I didn't know if you asked anything else. I don't think I did, Al. Yeah, dude, you're fucking. Oh, you don't do that in the UK. The last person I brought up milk was Canadian. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking poke a hole in your bag of milk. No, I've talked to you about this, pubes. You don't need to psychoanalyze me. I've had professionals doing it for 25 years. I have a savior complex. 4 years in active duty military in the Middle East, jumping out of planes as a medic to fucking save people. I don't have anybody else to save. It's an impulse. But a lot of good comes out of it. My intentions don't matter because of the nature of the beast. You know, it doesn't matter why I'm trying to help people, but people are getting helped. And it's helping me, you know? I've been working on it for a very long time, psychedelic. A very fucking long time. I know a lot of ins and outs in my head. No, in America, we don't get milk in bags. We get it in a carton. Small interactions. Yeah, well, how I used to emotionally respond, like that, like if I could compare it to probably a year and a half ago, if that happened to me, I would have already broken something. Like the stream would be over. Fuck you, I'm done. Everybody can go screw off. It would have been like a way overreaction and an over response to it. I would have fucking, thrown my mic into the wall, shut the computer off, and laid down for the rest of the day. Like I do my reactions. I have a long history of them not fitting. You know what I mean? Um, it's all good, Alls. What changed since then? I snapped out of a psychosis I was in. So um, I don't know what. Well, I know what happened. So I was on my medications for about 2.5 years without getting blood work done, and I have to take pretty heavy antipsychotics and tranquilizers to sleep. And I was on them every day. I was taking them twice a day, like I was supposed to, for like almost 2.5 years, and everything was fine. I never went and got blood work done, and my doctor kept being like, "Hey, you got to do your blood work." And I naturally built up a tolerance to antipsychotics, and it's like a seesaw. Once it flips down, it flips down. So it flipped down, and I got a little psychotic and spun out. And part of that is like, especially early mania, is feeling like you're indestructible and invincible. So someone who feels indestructible and invincible does not need to take medication. So then it just got fucking worse, and I was living in like almost a pure manic state for the better part of a year. And then it let me go. I went down into the depressive, and while I was in the depressive, the fog started to clear a little bit. I did do damage manic. Like choosing to become homeless was probably not a great idea. I was like, fuck it, I'll just bag some clothes and leave my house. That didn't work out great, and I had a couple uncomfortable nights, and then I started taking my medication again. And like, oh, wow, things got better. But yeah, your body will naturally titrate you off of medication. So if you're on like antidepressants or something like that, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, the big ones, you'll naturally titrate off of them to the point where you're not getting a therapeutic dose. And that's what happened to me essentially. Because everybody was like, you were doing really good, like you were talking, you were always happy. Like I definitely had my downs, but like I didn't do the adult thing and just get my blood work every 6 months. I've been clear. I've been clean for almost 5 years, so I've been sober the whole time through the mania, through the depression. I stayed sober. So it definitely wasn't from getting sober because I was already sober. I have mental illness. It's not. It's made worse by drugs and alcohol. So like, a lot of it was just to let me go. I did do therapy, leading up to that. I think that's what helped me snap out of it. I was doing therapy once a week. And then I just kind of had to go through the full fucking bipolar cycle. You know what I mean? Well, I have pretty rough bipolar 1. So like a lot of people, like we were actually just talking about this. I don't know if you caught part of that conversation. A lot of people will say they have bipolar, and then you'll be like describing mania, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have that." So like that's the big core difference is bipolar 2. You have depression and hypomania, which is a feeling of being overjoyed. Mania is a full ass like indestructible. I'm going to rule the world. Like you feel fucking bulletproof. Which fun fact, bipolar soldiers are actually like on paper the best soldiers you can have because they're either so depressed that they don't care, or they're so manic that they feel untouchable and they don't care anyway. So it probably is why I did so well in the service. What's some advice I'd give myself to myself 10 years ago? Well, that was my original sobriety when I was 20. To spend more time with my kids. Would have been it. Losing custody of my daughter in the end of 2020, the end of 2019, and my son passing away at the beginning of 2019. I lost both my kids in 2 severe different ways in the same year, and my only real regret in life at this point is that I wish I spent more time with them. I could have spent more time with them, and I didn't. So that's just something I have.
Well, I'm sure that was not meant to be a gut-checking question, but it was. I'm gonna plug my charger in real quick. Keep my vape going. What's the TBI from? I've had concussions and shit, but I can't say that I've had a TBI. I still have most of my cognitive ability. I definitely fucking scrambled shit a time or two, but nothing crazy. I had a good friend of mine that's still back in Massachusetts. Fucking, he threw like a chunk of metal at a passing train and it bounced back and cracked his skull. He had very, very slowed speech. And like you could see, like his processing speed was low. Ah, gotcha. Oh, how long were you in for? Helo crash. You American? You would have happened to be in the 82nd or 101st, would you? What's up, Wimmy? How you doing, broski? Good to see you. Again, I appreciate you so much in that Discord. Fucking, I like that. I'm stealing that. Psychedelic. It's like, I cannot stress it enough how important it is that you are there with me. No problem, Als. If you ever need anything, hit us up on Discord. Oh, fair enough. Where the fuck were you? What were you doing that your helo went down? You're welcome. It's the solidarity, pubes. Yeah, I stopped talking about being a veteran with my YouTube shorts because people were saying mean things to me. Like, you didn't have to commit war crimes. It's like I didn't commit any war crimes. What? And like I thought the term baby killer stopped being used in the 60s, but holy shit, a lot of fucking millennials and fucking what is it, Gen fucking W's or whatever know that term. Shit's wild, dude. I never thought I'd see a fucking 15-year-old high school kid call me a baby killer on YouTube. Like, what the fuck, dude? You weren't even alive when the towers went down, motherfucker. There's been a lot of positive on the shorts. I'd love to hear the story, Psychedelic, but I've heard quite a few of them. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like sitting here, I was like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, obviously, like, my initial thought was, like, you were shot down. Like, I'm, like, sitting there, I'm like, what? That'd do it. What a shitty way. I met a guy, it was probably 4 months after I met him. He slipped in a field shower and broke his neck. He was QRF. So, like, it's one of those fucking things. Like, he went through shit. He was on his 5th deployment. He was, like, quarter of the way through his 5th deployment. He fucking slipped in a field shower and broke his neck. That's wild. You imagine that shit? Being downrange for 5.5 years? And fucking, you slip and break your neck in the shower?
Shit's wild. What a gut check, dude. And like from time to time, I'm not really in too much of a hyper laughy mood right now, but from time to time, I've laughed about it. You know how that goes. Full desensitization is what it is. But man, that shit's fucking wild. When I heard that, dude, I was like, what the fuck? Really? Fucking Rambo taken out by a slippery floor, dude. I've forgiven both of my parents from my childhood. As a consequence of forgiving both my parents from my childhood, I don't talk to them anymore. Yeah, fair enough. I did early enlistment, so I was already enlisted at 16. Lot of fucking childhood trauma. Like, that's like why sometimes I'll hear the argument, like, you know, people being stuck in the projects. I grew up in very, very poor South Carolina, like Southwest South Carolina. Like, very poor, on a farm, shit kicked out of me all the time. And then when I was 12, we moved to the inner city. We were living in the project of Boston. So, like, I grew up in a very unforgiving place. And, like, it was bad enough when they, like, offered, I got emancipated, and then I got in some trouble, and they're like, you can do early enlistment. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, he was 16? That's rough. A lot of what helped me forgive my father, actually, was, he, so I don't remember my brother, but I had a brother who passed away at 16 from leukemia. I forgot what it was called. It was some, like, not super rare leukemia, but it was leukemia. And he passed away, and my dad fell into the bottle and drugs real hard. So I only remember my dad feeling hurt and stuff, and a lot of the forgiveness that came was when I buried my own son. I was like, okay, I understand. I understand how fucking angry you could be. And I relapsed. I did the whole shit. I left states though. I got on a bus and went from Massachusetts to California to do my relapsing. I didn't subject my daughter to it, thank God. But people often think that, like, to forgive someone, you need to maintain a healthy a relationship with them, and I don't have that assumption. Both of my parents have been forgiven, and I don't talk to either one of them. I don't go to sleep at night pissed off at them anymore. Like, that's the big important part. I don't condone what they did to us, because a lot of the damage from my childhood wasn't what they did to me, it was what they did to my sisters. To be completely fair. So, like, I don't fucking pay them any fucking mind. Not anymore. They don't have the right to take up part of my mental strength. Who thinks that you forgave dead people all the time? I don't know what that means. Pubes, are you on cocaine right now? I'm sorry for your loss. I know what it's like. And it's a fucking forever struggle, dude. It's a forever struggle. It's been fucking 5 years. 6 years. 5 years. 5 years. It's 2024, 5 years. And I'm still, like, waiting for it to hurt less. And actually, the reason why I got sober, the big reason why I got sober this go around, because I was trying to drink myself to death. That was the goal. The big reason why I got sober is I had gotten a job somehow as a foreman at a heavy equipment company. So we were working on a landfill, and I was just hammered constantly, dude. Like, sun up to sundown. I would wake up, fucking drink as long as I could until I passed out. And my boss at the time, it was like a Sunday in fucking Northern California, 115 degrees. I passed out fucking hammered in this car. The windows up, just fucking slow roasting. And he came up, my first interaction with the guy, he goes, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" I was like, my son died and I don't know what to do. And this motherfucker was like, I bet you he would be proud, and walked away. So naturally, I quit my job and I went back to AA. And I spoke, the next job I had, the guy had just recently lost his son. What ended up happening, I met somebody at a meeting, and they're like, I can talk to my mom. Maybe she'll let you live with us, because I was homeless. She's like, maybe you can live with us, and I can probably get you a job where my buddy used to live. So it was they were like best friends, and he had passed away from an overdose. And so he got me the job, and I was talking to the owner of that company, and this motherfucker hit me with something that rang so fucking hard of how angry he was that his son had died. His son died when he was 22. And he's like, it's just ingrained in my fucking gray matter, dude, of he made me know a world with him in it and then had to live in one without him. And I was like, damn, dude. Fucking, Oh, thank you for the follow. Psychonaut. The Psychedelic Psychonaut. Actually, I haven't read your full name till now. That's a fucking solid name, dude. I like it. I don't know. I did the good son thing. I financed my parents' teeth. I introduced them to my daughter when she was born, and they like just never have changed. They've been the same people the whole time I've known them. They're garbage. And I just got to a point where like I just let them be garbage. Fuck it. I don't have any loyalty to my parents, just because like I put it like they don't deserve my respect and love because they spent 3 minutes making me. Like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Dude, so my boss actually, so I'm a case manager for people with debilitating mental illness like schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, split personality disorder, stuff like that. I do case management and rehab for them. That's the niche I found myself in. So my boss there was like, "Hey, there's a ketamine clinic in town," and I was like, "I used to do ketamine recreationally." I knew a guy that knew a guy, and I could get myself some ketamine, and I just fucking go down a K-hole. That's what we called it. I don't know if it's a regional thing, but, you know, go down a K-hole a little bit. And he was like, no, like, they found out that, like, they put you in this clinic for a few hours, and you're on a little ketamine drip, and it's controlled, you get driven home, and it's, like, doing a ton of fucking wonderful things for trauma and PTSD. I don't know any of the particulars on it. He was just telling me about it. Because I've been, here and there, I microdose. So, like, I've been doing that since I got back and then to 2012. I use psilocybin as a tune-up. Because the studies coming out of mostly Europe are like, no, like, it's doing some shit. And that's what it is. That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, yes, I have a savior complex. It scratches that piece of my brain. But, like, if I dedicate a large chunk of my time to trying to help other people, I'm not focused on any of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not focused on bad conflicts in northern Iraq or being in central Afghanistan or being in fucking East Africa. Like, I'm not focused on any of that stuff. If I'm sitting here like, what's got you sad? You know what I mean? And like, I fucking love my job and I'm really good at it. On the interview, they were like, you know, typical interview questions. Why are you a good fit? And I was like, well, I've been in and out of locked facilities and programs since I was 8 years old. I got about 31 years of mental health experience, and it's all firsthand. And like, they were asking me questions, and I was just giving them answers, like super open and honest. Like, what brought you to California? Well, I started drinking, and then I tried meth for the first time, and just kind of ended up here. And they're like, oh, I was like, don't worry, I'm sober. You know, at that time, I was like, I just got 4 years. Just got my 4-year coin. Like, I'm on the straight and narrow. And they're like, yep, you're hired. And now they're fucking making me the unit manager, dude. Shit. Turns out fucking crazy people are good at helping crazy people. Am I right? I don't even know what to ask. That's the thing. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. Like, give me the sales pitch, I guess. Give me the the long and short of it. I have no knowledge of what ketamine does. A friend of mine is going through chemo and cancer treatment for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, um, and he's doing ketamine therapy, but he has like some gang stuff in his past. That's where my head went to too. Like I used to like Wimmy. I'm sure New Jersey, the slang can't be too different from Massachusetts going down a K-hole, you know? Yeah, absolutely. You can. The biggest thing you can do with people with mental illness is relate to them. The only thing that makes me effective at work is because I know what it feels like and I've been there. I know what it's like to have voices going in my head all the time. They thought I was schizophrenic because like there was still not in the mid 2000s there was still not a ton known on what severe PTSD even looked like. And it comes with hearing voices and seeing shit. So they're like, you're schizodefective. I was like, oh, I don't feel schizophrenic. My mom was schizophrenic. I don't really act like her. You know? It's you're viewing shared experience different. So you can bump into somebody that's struggling and being like, yeah, I'm trying to quit myself. I'm struggling, but I'm trying to stop. That holds a lot of fucking weight because there's a lot more people trying to stop or know that they should stop that can't stop. So if you can be like, yeah, same. I know what it's like to fucking want that shit every waking hour of every day, but I'm trying to stop. There's strength in solidarity. So it's similar to microdosing then. Do you actually trip? Because my head went to the same thing as Wimmy's. I'm like, ooh, I like drugs. Healthy drugs? They like you tell me drugs are healthy, I'll take them. My brains are sick. Oh, okay, fair enough. So a completely different part of the brain it targets. I kind of feel like I would too. And it's the distinction. Like when I take like a point 0.2 hit of psilocybin, I don't feel like it's a relapse. But if I took a couple tabs of acid, I would feel like it was a relapse. Oh, interesting. Because I've known a little bit about it. I know, like obviously, if clinics are opening, there's got to be some merit to it. And like California has clinics. They've got that part of like, you know, they like state insurance is doing it. You know. Well, they found there's a study going on that they were trying to get funding for, but they actually the state it was in funded gender studies instead. Um, but they were using ultrasound to treat addiction, um, like people to treat cravings anyway. And they're finding that you get like 3 to 6 months without any cravings, and you sit in an MRI, and they target this little fucking like pea size of the brain and hit it with some ultrasound, and it's showing a lot of positive results with craving management. And that's the thing. I use so I would just say mushrooms. It's not like I've been saying psilocybin. It's mushrooms. Um, they help me process at a different rate, I guess you could call it, where it's not like I can just be okay when I'm on them. So if I'm feeling angry about something, really sad, I'm trying to let go of some type of trauma or I'm trying to grieve, I feel like I would eventually, but I feel like the mushrooms get me there faster. Been 2.5 years now? Hell yeah, dude. I do 12 step. So I'm part of the fellowship
or I guess I can't say the fellowship because it's insensitive, a fellowship. And that's worked out for me. I'll have 5 years. I can't smoke weed. It doesn't matter. Indica, sativa, hybrids. I get fucking horrid panic attacks. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. If you feel like it's going to be a slippery slope, you're probably in the same headspace as me about it, Wimmy. Accepting that drugs and alcohol are helping you cope.
It's like, well, yeah, but it doesn't mean it's in a good way. Yeah, because you're doing it in like a secure facility, kind of, the ketamine treatments. Like, you can't drive yourself there or pick yourself up. You have to have like someone sign you out. There's like security and medical staff at the place in town, anyway. Yo, did you? I don't know if any. I would say probably. Well, maybe you, Psychonaut, but I don't think Wimmy watches Joe Rogan. You watch Joe Rogan at all or listen to him? Oh, you do. Well, you do but I'm sure you didn't do your first treatments at home. Maybe once they figured out dosage and how you react. But maybe I could be completely wrong. I wouldn't think of that as like a. Here's a bottle of ketamine. Bye. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a guy on Joe Rogan who started smoking crystal meth, right? And it's with the intention that he is going to show the world that quitting doing drugs is a matter of willpower to end the discussion of it not being a choice. And this motherfucker, he's only been doing it, he's been doing it for like 4 days. He is fucking clearly already out of his mind. He's already fucking cooked. He's already too far gone. It's like, dude, you just ruined your life, bro. And Joe Rogan was like, what if it doesn't work? He's like, well, I'll be a drug addict and I won't care. I'll live in a motel and smoke meth. I was like, oh, at least he's fucking going into it with all possible outcomes considered. But yeah, like, I was watching this guy and hearing him talk. It's like, some people do stop. Some people do casually do drugs or even not so casually do drugs and just stop. Some people are capable of that, but it's not many people. Oh, damn, I would love to be able to go to something like that, dude. Greenbeard, what's going on, my friend? How you been, dude? It's nice. It was really nice that you like reached out and started talking to me again on Discord.
Just chilling. Yeah, my buddy Goose Cookies on Twitch lives in I forgot where his city lives, but he's gonna be having some people from the 82nd also come and he's gonna try to do a little get together, and he said he'd fly me out for it. You been healing? Fuck yeah, dude. How's the tooth? Dude got one of his teeth yanked out. But yeah, I ain't gonna have the money to do shit for a long ass time till the raise and promotion and all that shit finalizes. You got all of them yanked? Like, all the teeth you had left, you had them fucking pull out? Damn, that's dedication. I know for a fact my teeth are somewhat okay, and like, once one of them rots, they're all gonna start rotting and go, so I'll probably end up doing the same thing. I'll be able to charge fucking $40 instead of 20 because it's a gummer, you know? Different caliber. And that's very interesting, Psychonaut. Well, that's good. Are you going to do dentures? I'm assuming that's kind of like your option is to kind of do dentures. I would be okay having dentures. I'll probably make it another 10 years before I have to make the call to start pulling my teeth out. But yeah, I'd fucking be more than down. I'd be cool with having dentures now. My teeth aren't super bad. I don't really have like cavities or anything like that, but they're like all crooked and snarly. Like they've been that way my whole life. You'd 6 to 8 weeks you get them. Oh, so you've already been molded and all that shit, or is that what you're talking about? Like they're giving you 6 to 8 weeks to heal up, and then you're gonna get the molds. One of the last big interactions I had with my mom was getting her dentures. Yeah, fuck that, dude. That's like I use that as a reference of like shared experience. So you can never adequately describe tooth pain to somebody. You'll never do it. The only way people will ever understand that is if they themselves have had a toothache. Like when my wisdom tooth came in impacted and it got infected, real bad situation. And like people were just like, it's never happened to me. That must suck. Like tooth pain is magical that way. And like it is. If you've never had a toothache, you'll never understand what a toothache feels like. Like I've described it. I've tried my best. I can be pretty descriptive. And the best I ever came to get somebody to understand of like, I don't know if you've ever been in so much pain that you are so angry you would beat somebody to death. That's kind of what it feels like. Dude, teeth are just luxury bones. You have to pay to keep them. They're garbage, dude. Like if you had to pay to maintain your fingernails, you'd feel the same way. Like, oh, I have to pay fucking $8 a month and fucking put time and effort into keeping my fingernails, you'd be like, rip them fuckers off. You know what I mean? Tooth pain, like I've been shot, blown up, fucking dropped a bunch of times. Like I've gone through some shit when it comes to, I've gone through chemo twice and radiation. Like I've been through some shit. Tooth pain, I don't. Tooth pain's a bitch, dude. I don't like it. Yeah, no, fuck luxury bones, dude. Oh, and I gotta ask, my head of personnel at work. I gotta email her and ask her if we roll over sick time. I have a lot of fucking sick time and PTO saved up already. See, I've never had testicular torsion, but I heard it was like one of the most painful experiences. That's when like your vas deferens twist, like you tie a little knot, your fucking nut cord, and it starts to like strangle your balls. That just even the thought of it, like I can feel that in my belly because I know what it's like to get kicked in the nuts. Like I feel that shit in my belly. I have no idea why the fuck tooth pain hurts so much. Yeah. That's the thing though, like because I've heard of people getting it, you can like tough out torsion testicle. I guess it's more common when you're young. But like you can tough it out. A lot of guys will be like I guess too embarrassed to be like, yo, there's something wrong with my ball. So they'll just tough it out and it just like then they become sterile because it kills the testicle. And like the only way to correct it is surgery, I think, right? Like they can't untwist it. They have to actually go in there manually. Fuck around, dude. I've gotten like straight violent because of tooth pain. Like that one in my mouth. So I did the normal thing, the normal people thing of my wisdom tooth was bothering me. and I knew it had to come out. So over the course of, I don't know, a year and a half ish, just casually when I could stomach it, I would put a key on my tooth and drag it, and I cut a channel in my tooth, and I stuck my pocket knife in there and just twisted it and snapped that fucker out of there. And like 3 weeks later, I was septic. I had a fucking my whole like I was sitting in a meeting, and it was hurting. Like it stayed hurting. I was just kind of waiting for the pain to go away. So it was just like continuously hurting, whatever. Like it'll stop sucking when it's over. Yada yada yada. And I was sitting in a meeting, and I was like, damn, this is starting to hurt. Okay, it's getting a little worse. I went outside. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go home. I called my girlfriend at the time. I was like, you gotta come pick me up. Like there's something wrong. Her driving from our apartment to the meeting was a 17-minute drive. And in that 17 minutes, my face swelled up so much, it closed my right eye. Like, it was fucking bad, dude. It was bad. And I went into the doctor's, we went to urgent care, and the receptionist didn't even like, put me in triage and stuff. All for a fucking, I got one wisdom tooth, and it came in almost completely sideways. I do that shit all the time. I still, like, I've given myself stitches and shit, yeah, but, like, my go-to is usually super glue. Super glue some shit down. The worst. I got pictures of it. My fucking mother-in-law, I don't quite know how old she is. I would say around 70. But she's old enough to have thin skin. Like, her thin, like, you can see through it. And her dog fucking, she went to, like, break up her dogs from fighting. And it grabbed her arm, and when she pulled away, it, like, fucking degloved her arm, dude. And they called me panicking. I got rushed over there with my fucking, I have a little medical bag because I go out sometimes and treat homeless people. Just be like, hey, you got any, blisters or abscesses or whatever. I'll go do a little illegal doctoring on the street. And I went there and fucking, she took it like a trooper, but I had to like use forceps and fucking like go underneath and grab big flaps of skin and straighten it out and fucking bandage it all up and shit. It was gross. It hurt. It hurt immediately. Like, it was just like, I was like, okay, I remember it was a little green Gerber I had. I stuck it up there and just fucking, wow, as quick as I could. It made a hard click. And, like, it did. It felt like someone fucking lit a fire in my mouth. And, it was like maybe 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. The pain was so bad, I had to go to the emergency room. Oral surgery, no insurance. Cost me about $9,500. The extraction, the root canal would have costed me approximately $800. And it would have saved me so much pain, dude. Like, that did it. Fucking, it was probably hands down one of the most painful experiences in my life. One of the most painful physical experiences in my life, anyway. It was bad. That's been a constant thing for me. I'm trying to get better about going to the doctors when something's wrong. That's like my whole cancer progression. When we found out I had cancer in 2015, I WebMD'd it. I Googled my symptoms, and it said Lyme's disease. So I was like, oh, okay, that all makes sense. So, like, I made some phone calls and got some Lyme disease medication off the streets. Like, it was purchased. And I got so much worse. I was big sick. And I went to the emergency, went to my doctors, and they did blood work, and they were like, you have multiple myeloma. And, like, fun fact, if you have multiple myeloma and you take some Lyme's disease medication, it makes you way worse. So that was fun. And it's constant. And, like, it's like, it feels like tooth pain is, like, relevant to your heartbeat. Like, it hurts extra every time your heart beats. Like, it's fucking bizarre, dude. It sucks. Kind of like depression. If you're just laying, like, that feeling of, like, laying there waiting for depression to leave you alone, like, you just gotta wait for it to let you go. It's kind of like having a cold. There ain't shit you can do about it. You just lay there and take it. Oh, Wimmy, are you still there? Are you still present, sir?
He might not be. He bounces around like a lunatic. He's a Twitch ninja. That guy must be following, I would say, 30 or 40 people easily, and like actively following them. Yeah, no worries, Green. No worries at all. If you type in exclamation DC, that should be a new forever link that you can use. I remembered to do it. I remembered. I ate a couple member berries, dude. I'm fucking on it, bro. Good old member berries. Yo, that was probably the last really good season. Was the no, the member berries was before PC Principle. PC Principle was pretty fucking good too, but the member berries were fucking fire. I remember. See, I believe that link should work, and I made double sure. I made double sure that it's limitless uses and it does not expire. All right, Wimmy. I hope you sleep well, dude. Oh, you weren't kidding. You're gonna fuck. Oh, it's not even early. Oh my god, it's 9 o'clock. Whoa. I was like, yeah, you are going to bed early. It's midnight. Okay. Fair enough. I hope you sleep well, dude. I'm honestly probably in a little bit here, a couple minutes, going to go myself. Probably take a little nap and stream later tonight. Now that the neighbor's not splitting wood anymore. Motherfucker out here splitting wood and shit. It was like a similar... I also had that similar feeling, like being young-ish. Young in age, anyway. And like I'm kind of out of shape. So I get the similar feeling when I see like an old person jogging. They kind of like, look at this motherfucker. Like 65 years old and fucking jogging? What a scumbag. Which is like, it's a really weird way to look at stuff. For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna actually wrap stream up now, guys. I'll be back later tonight, though. I'm just gonna quit when I have a head type of thing, lay down for a bit. Thanks for the follows, guys, and chatting with me and stuff, and I hope to see you in a little bit when I go live again.